The Philadelphia Inquirer described the Bob Nelson-inspired workplace this way: "Welcome to Bob's world, a place of above-average managers and workers, all committed to personal excellence, goodwill, and of course, company profits. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Nelson."
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. I flew in last night from Washington, D.C. I kind of had an interesting thing happen on the plane. I sat down on the plane and people pull out a novel or a newspaper that they're reading. The guy next to me pulls out my book. And I thought, gee, this is a perfect chance to be a mystery shopper. What do you think of that book? He gets a little reflective. He says, well, my boss gave me the choice of 3 books to read. This one was the shortest. And I took that as a compliment. Because it's my feeling that we're today overwhelmed with information, with technology, with keeping up in our professions, with the amount of change going on in the workplace today. And it's my observation that it's very easy for any of us to lose sight of the short list of the things that can really help you the most when it comes to your relationships and your people at work. And so in my brief time with you today, I want to focus on that short list, on the things that if you take seriously can make a difference for you. And I want to share with you a few of the insights I've learned on my journey with the hope that you can take them back and improve as well. The first insight is every employee wants to be magnificent. Every employee wants to be a part of something larger than themselves. They want to be excited where they work. They want to feel that they're important. I've never met an employee that gets up in the morning and says, I think I'll really screw up at work today. I think I'll make my manager's job a living hell. That'll be fun. Now, sometimes you figure they must have said that based on what they did when they got to work. I'm convinced that when you get that, when you see someone doing something different than you want, more times than not, it's a learned behavior. That they're reacting to how they've been treated over time. Bill Hewitt, co-founder of Hewlett-Packard, once put it this way. He said, men and women want to do a good job, a creative job, and if they're provided the proper environment, they will do so. This simple observation represents a drastic shift in what it takes to get the best from your employees today. The days of command and control, my way or the highway, the manager is the person in charge are long, long over. Today, to get the best you can do is to meet them at their energy and help take them to a new level. You can't force people to do things. They've got too many choices in the marketplace. They've got too many choices with their discretionary energy in their job. What you can do is you can provide a supportive environment that encourages them, that supports them, that allows them access to you, to information, that involves them in decisions, and in a very real way capitalizes on what they have to offer. I'm convinced that today motivation starts with your employees. Motivation starts with finding out what's important to your employees and starting there. I feel that you can't get the best from any employee today by lighting a fire under them. You've got to find a way to light a fire within them. You've got to find that spark and fan it to get a flame going. I try to get managers to think of in terms of creating a motivation baseline. A lot of times we have baselines for our customer service or for technology improvements, for things like that. You need a motivation baseline for your people as well. You need to know what's important to them. And how do you find out what's important to your people? Well, when in doubt, ask. And you can do this at a lot of levels. You can do it one-on-one. Say someone settles in their job after a few weeks, you take them out to lunch or buy them coffee and say, John, I'd like to get to know people a little bit better once they start here. And there's a lot of places you could have worked. Why did you come here? What do you hope to get out of this job? What type of work do you like doing best? Are you a lone wolf? You like being part of a team? If a special assignment came up, would that excite you or not? Where would you like to be 5 years from now? The more you can find out and learn about the people that are working for you, what hobbies you have, what's your family situation, the more fodder you have to motivate them. Not to manipulate them, to motivate them, to help them on their journey. When people feel that you have their best interests at heart, they will give you back tenfold in their commitment and their energy to do the best for you. I'm convinced today that more than ever before, people work for people, not organizations. The whole idea of an organization is abstract. The trust in institutions is at an all-time low. If someone has a good job today, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, it's because they've got a good manager. In a very personal way that they know someone's in their corner, someone that's willing to listen to them, to encourage them, to support them when they need it. Some recent research by the Gallup organization, I think, points this out very clearly. In interviews with 2 million workers at 700 companies, The length of an employee's tenure is largely determined by that employee's relationship with his or her immediate supervisor. Number one variable. If anyone here is concerned about retention in your operation, you don't need to go any further than this. You have to come down and focus in a very real way on the relationship that your employees have with their managers. You have to raise the stakes, you have to raise the awareness, you have to make the case that's important. You've got to give managers the skills, the tools to make this relationship a high priority and to do it each and every day. It's not necessarily an easy task, but this is the place more than anything that you can get the payoff of attracting, retaining the best employees, and getting the best from them once they're on your staff. There's limits to leveraging your technology. There's limits to leveraging your utilization of the equipment. There's unlimited potential when you tap into the power of your people. Their creativity, their resourcefulness, their sense of closure when they're doing the job right. I find that the best motivators today are manager-initiated. To find out what's important to your employees, but then you have to act on that information. You have to take the initiative to acknowledge people, to thank them, to encourage them. You have to take the initiative to turn every chance that you communicate, whether it's an email or a voicemail or a staff meeting or passing someone in the hallway, as an opportunity to recognize, to support, to encourage. And the greater percentage of those opportunities that you transform, the better, the stronger the bond, the stronger the connection that you'll create for your employees, the connection to the people, again, more so than the organization. I looked at 34 organizations across the country, did a broad-based study to look at, in each organization, to compare high-use recognition managers with managers that never did it at all. Out of 140 variables, the single most important variable as to why managers that enabled them to use recognition was this. The high-use recognition managers all look for opportunities to recognize employees when they do good work, and they do so on a daily basis. Not after, when everything else is done, not at the end of the week, not at the end of the month, not when they happen to feel like it or when they're in a good mood, but on a daily basis. They've internalized the importance of this activity, and they act on it here and now. To wait is to lose the opportunity. Someone does a great job, you don't say anything, you don't do anything. A week goes by, 2 weeks, it's too late to do anything. In fact, sometimes to do it at that point, it almost shows that you're disconnected with the employee. Some 85% of employees say they'd never get recognition today for doing a good job. And as we're changing more, as we're asking people to do more, most employees feel overworked and underappreciated. It doesn't have to be that way. And one of the delights on this topic is the fact that the best motivators today cost little or nothing. Little or nothing are things that recognition is around you all the time. It's just there for you to reach out and grab. Now, a lot of times the focus on recognition is money. Well, money's a motivator. It's just not the only motivator. I'd suggest it's not even the top motivator. You might come to work for money, but I find that people always leave for recognition. A recent study that just sponsored by the Society for Human Resource Management looked at the number one reasons, the top reasons why employees stay in today's organizations. Here they are in priority order. Number one, career growth, learning and development. Number two, exciting work and challenged. Number three, meaningful work, making a difference and a contribution. Number four, great people to work with. Number five, being part of a team. Number six, having a good boss. Number seven, recognition for work well done. Number eight, autonomy and a sense of control over one's work. Number nine, flexible work hours and dress code. Number 10, fair pay and benefits. Money's on the list. It's on the bottom of the list, though. People or other things are more important to people. What you pay people, the benefits you give them might play a role in getting them in the door. Now that they're on your team, you've got to do more to get the best from them. I've never met a person that gets up in the morning and says, I'm going for it today. I got dental coverage. Dental coverage is good. We need dental coverage. But it's not what gets people excited and focused and motivated on doing the best job possible. The last insight I've got to share with you is the best motivators today are all based on performance. You couldn't ask for something better. That's to say that if you take this topic seriously, and part of the challenge of talking about recognition is the fact that people think, well, that's easy, that's obvious, I must be doing it. All the evidence points to that you're not. We do it up here. We know instinctively it's a good thing to do, but when you look at how you spend your time, we always do a little bit less than we think. And if you ask your employees, they never see it. You have to show them. You have to make it explicit. The best motivators today are all based on performance. If you align your recognition with the job you need done, whether it's your strategic objectives, your company values, department goals, the sense of teamwork you're trying to build, if you systematically align it, not only will you get more performance, I hands down guarantee it, but that's when it means the most to your people as well. Don't recognize people just to be nice. Don't recognize them because you want them to like you. Recognize them around the performance, and they'll love working for you, and you will be a magnet for talent. Now, I find more and more organizations, even government and nonprofit, are moving towards this focus on performance. In fact, you might have heard the story about the two gentlemen that died the same day, went to heaven. One was a New York City cab driver. The other was a Baptist minister. As they got to the pearly gates, St. Peter was there. Heaven's online these days. He was reviewing their lives on his laptop, and the first gentleman was this cab driver. He was quite impressed. He issued him flowing robes, his own personal cloud, an assistant with a harp, waved him into heaven. Right behind him was this minister. He reviewed his life on the laptop and issued the gentleman a loincloth. And the minister said, I don't want to seem ungrateful to be here in heaven. I'm delighted to be here. At the same time, I got to ask why you seemingly treated that cab driver so much better than myself when I've spent my entire life in the service of the Lord. And St. Peter said, we've moved towards a pay-per-performance system here in heaven. And basically, as you preached, people slept. As that cab driver drove, people prayed. So it's happening everywhere. It can happen for you too if you take it seriously. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Bob, so much.